So today we have a great webinar for you. We're introducing the new capabilities of Sisense that was released on version 6.6 about a month ago. I am in Barodan. I am Sisense Customer Training Manager, and I will be your host for this webinar. With me is Ahuva Khazan, she's a product manager here at Sisense, responsible for enterprise, OEM, and administration features in our product. So today we're gonna discuss how to migrate dashboard across environments, and we will give you all the technicalities, all the details about this new very helpful, very handy feature. Okay, so we're talking today about migrating dashboards between environments. And when designing this feature, we had few motivations, few use cases that can be related to this feature, and we can identify two main ones. So one would be the development lifecycle. That is, we have many customers that are working with more than one Sisense server. So they have a Sisense production server for distributing the dashboards to the business users. But many organizations are working with a staging server. It could be a development server, it could be a QA or a test, it can be a sandbox, it can be any kind of server that you wish to work with. And the need is to migrate dashboards between or across those servers, those environments in an easy and quick way. Another use case, another motivation for designing this new feature is OEM. Sisense has many OEM customers, and an OEM customer has many of his end users, end customers. So when an end customer, in many scenarios, the end customers are working with their own server, with their own Elastic cubes, and we wanted to allow the OEM customers to develop their own dashboards without interfering with the customers, with their end customers' work. And they will be able to create some kind of a dashboard template and then share it with their end customers to connect to their Elastic Cube and populate this dashboard with their own data based on the dashboard that they designed in the central development server. So in order to do that and to be able to migrate dashboards between environments easily and quickly, we have two main methods to do it. The first one is import-export. This one I believe most of you are familiar with. And this method is basically exporting a dashboard to a dash file. It's a local file, and this method is best when you don't have access to both servers and to backupping purposes. Let's see how this is done. Okay, so let's say I have this source server. As you see, I have three different servers here. So this would be my source server, and here I have a first target server, and here I have a second target server. Let's say that I want to export those dashboards. So here is a nice thing. This is something that was also introduced in version 6.6, and I can select one or multiple dashboards, then I can export them to my machine. Okay, so here I have the dashboard files. Let's grab this window. Okay, so here I have the dashboard files, and I can go to one of my target servers and just import the dashboard. I can go to my downloads folder. Here, and open the dashboards. And here I got a notification saying the dashboard was imported successfully. And as you see, I now have my dashboards copied to the new environment, or to the other environment. So this is very quick, very easy, but it is local. So if I want to do it in a different way, if I want to do it in a more automated, easy way, I can choose the copy to server feature. This is the new feature that we want to cover on this session today. So basically what we are doing here is copying directly from one server to another. And for that we need four things as prerequisites. So the first one is we should grant communication between the two servers. That means that in the source server we have to set the target server as a trusted server, and we will see how to do it in a minute. Of course, we need to have access to both servers. That means that we need the credentials. In terms, this access to the servers is SSO supported. Another thing that you should know is that this feature is supported from version 6.6 and above. Okay, so if you want to copy dashboards to earlier version, unfortunately this is not possible. But if you want to do it with later versions and you don't have compatibility between the two servers, then you will be asked to confirm the copy. Okay, so you will be aware to any compatibility issues if there will be any. Another thing that is worth mentioning is that all the data sources and plugin are recommended to be the same in both environments. Okay, so it will ensure that the dashboards that you're copying will work properly and you don't have any functionality issues for those for those dashboards. So let's see how to do that. And as I said here, I have my environments, and what I want to do now is to show you how to set the target server, how to set the source server as a trusted server on the target server. Okay, so let's see here. This is my target server, sorry, my source server IP and port. I'm going to copy it. Here I'm going to log in. As I said, we need credentials for both servers, so I'm going to log in to my target server. And we'll go to the admin tab. In the admin tab, I will have the trusted servers list right here. And I will click Add Server. So here I'm entering the IP and the port of the source server, and I'll give it a name just to make it easier to identify it in the list. Okay, and now the source server is defined as a trusted server. So that was very easy to do. Okay, so now I can continue and migrate the dashboard. So we can distinguish between migrating a dashboard for the first time and updating a dashboard. The first thing that you have to know when migrating a dashboard for the first time and overall is that the dashboards and their widgets are keeping their ID, meaning their URL. And even if you rename the dashboard, it is still identified by their IDs. Okay, that means that if your end users are using bookmarks, the bookmarks will be saved, and it is very easy and very friendly to the end users just to keep all the settings. Another thing you should know is about scripts. So scripts are copied with the dashboards, and they will overwrite the scripts on the target server. So the logic behind this this setting is that the scripts are part of the dashboard, and if you develop something new in your new dashboard, you will probably want to migrate it with the dashboard, and this is why the scripts are moving across environment with the dashboard that you are copying. Another thing to note is that when dashboards are duplicated, they will go straightly to the main dashboard. Okay, when you copy a dashboard for the first time, it will go to the root list. Okay, it won't duplicate the folder. Only the dashboard themselves. That will be different if you update the dashboard, and we will see it shortly. So let's see how to do it. So we have our dashboards, the dashboard that we want to migrate. We just click copy to server. Then we enter the URL of the server. We log in, so Sisense giving you the login. Oh, sorry. This is my, sorry. Just let me take this one. Sorry. So Sisense authenticate me, and I'm in. So now I get a notification that the dashboard was copied successfully, and when I go to my target server, you can see that now I have the 3 dashboards copied in their new location. See, very nice, very easy, very quick. Great. Let's move on. And let's say that I made some changes to those dashboards, and I want to update the dashboards. Now you have to keep in mind 4 things. So the first one is that when I'm updating an existing dashboard, I can overwrite it, I can duplicate it, and I can skip it like you copy any other file format. So it is very intuitive. very very simple. The folders, if a folder is existing in the target server, so the location will be retained, okay? The updated dashboard, when you copy it for the second time and more, will go directly to the respective folder. It won't gonna appear in the root of the dashboard list. Another thing that is important to mention is the sharing settings. So once I have defined sharing settings, recipients, email scheduling, all the sharing settings, that will be also retained in the target server. Now, the logic behind this is that we have two different recipient lists, two different users for each server. Okay, so the users in the development environment, not necessarily going to be the recipient in the production environment. So when we copy the dashboards to the target environment, it will retain the settings of the target environment, again, to make your life easier and to allow a really quick migration. Another very, very nice nice point in regards to the migrating feature is undo import. So you can revert a dashboard that you just copied to its previous version, as long as you haven't made any changes to it. So if you just copied a dashboard and you found out that you had a mistake, or that you didn't or you want to retrieve it from some reason to the previous version, you can do it. Let's see how it's done. Okay, so let's go again to our source environment, and let's say we're making some kind of a change to this dashboard. Let's say we want to add a dashboard, a widget to this dashboard. Okay. And now we want to update the dashboard with the new widget that we've created. Again, we will select all the dashboards, including the one or the ones that we have made changes to. We will copy them to the server. And again, and now we see that we have the options. So let's say for the sample e-commerce, we can skip it. We haven't done any changes to it. The healthcare, we would like to overwrite as we done changes to it. And to the lead generation, we want to duplicate. Of course, we can do, we can select all. Let's copy. And now we've got two dashboards copied and one was skipped. Let's go to our target environment. We will refresh it. And you can see that we have the copied the duplicated dashboard here, and if we will go to the healthcare dashboard, then you'll see it contains the new widget. Okay, it's taking time to load, so we're not necessarily need to wait for it. All right. So this is super easy, very, very fast. And we should also mention that this feature is supported by Sisense APIs, so it can also be integrated with your development processes and your automation processes. And here, if you have any questions, we'll be glad to take them. So we have a few of them, and here we have Ahuva with us, so she can answer the questions.
Okay, one of the questions is regarding ports. This uses the web UI, the REST API, so it uses the same port that you connect to the Sisense server. Note that, so you don't need to open any new ports in your firewall, but note that this feature is a communication between the Sisense servers. So if you have a source server and a target server, there must be a network route between them. It's not your browser talking to each other. It's the two servers communicating with each other, and they need a network route. User rights to dashboards. In order to do this, to use this feature, you must be the dashboard owner, because on your source server, the person who does it has to be the dashboard owner. When they copy them to the destination, if the dashboards don't exist on the destination, they're created. If the dashboard exists on the destination and there's a conflict on ownership, you'll get an error message saying you don't have permission to overwrite the dashboard. Regarding communication error, usually the communication errors, if there is a communication error, it usually means that there's a problem communicating between the source and the destination servers. Because as I said, this operation is performed between the servers and not between the client of the web browser. Somebody asked about the authentication credentials. The credentials that are being used are the credentials that you logged into the servers. In Ingvar's example, she logged in to each of the servers, and those were the credentials used. In this case, if she logs out again, log out from the destination. She's now logged out from the destination. She's still logged into the source. And let's do it again. Start with the source. Now do copy to server. And she's going to have to enter credentials. So it's the credentials of the session currently open on the browser. Now because we logged out and there's no open session, Ingvar will provide credentials for the login. And if SSO is used, SSO is also supported. Ingvar just logged into the destination, and those were the credentials that were used. This operation of updating an existing dashboard where we overwrite is the same as republish, and it behaves exactly the same. So the same experience of if you have a dashboard and the owner updates it and republishes it, that's the same behavior as the import that overwrites an existing dashboard. It's a continuation of the same dashboard with the same permissions.
Okay, another question was, is this recorded and shared? So yes, it will be emailed to you and it will be posted on our community, on your community servers.
We'll answer one final question. The question is about ownership. Unfortunately, this feature doesn't resolve the issue of multiple owners for a single dashboard. In this solution, the person who can do this is still the dashboard owner. We are planning to address in the future the option of multiple owners, but this still requires the dashboard owner to transfer the dashboards between the environments. After you update dashboards on the target, they're available for edit. So if your ElastiCube on your source is not the same as ElastiCube on the destination, after you copy the dashboard to the destination, you could edit the cube and then republish. One of the options here is copy to server and republish immediately, or don't, and then republish manually. So if you want to change the cube source after you do the migration, you copy the dashboards to the destination server, update the cube, and then republish it.
Okay, thank you, Ahuva. I see that we don't have any additional questions. Thank you everybody for attending this webinar today. As I said, these materials will be sent to you by email, and of course we will have a dedicated forum post, and if you have any more questions you can ask them there, and Ahuva and I will address them. Thank you very much everybody, and see you on our next webinar. Bye bye.